let them all in labor is now saying, don't let them all in. Well, Rachel Reeves announced they're going to end the costly asylum seeker hotel programs. I'll wait. You know what I don't hear? I don't hear this kickoff. Could it be the kickoff is only for reform? Nobody's getting mad at labor. Nobody's yelling in the streets. Nobody's upset when they're saying that. Interesting. This is why people is going away from left-wing politics. If that was Nigel Farage saying that, they would say some kind of fascist racist. But when labor does it, well, it's not that big of a deal. Doesn't mean that much. Oh, and Oak here, he was asked by a reporter, and she wasn't being too aggressive with him or nothing, she's like, you originally said, you're going to do this fuel cuts, for the 10 million people where they cut their money. And she said, do you think that was an actual mistake? You know what I mean? Did you think that maybe you got it wrong? He's like, oh, no, we didn't get it wrong at the time. We need to save the money. We saved the money. And now we're looking at it. And, it's we got the money, so we're going to make them cut back. Not cut back, but make the cuts. Like, we're going to remove the cuts. But not for everybody. Not for everybody. Huh? So I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute. It wasn't a mistake. So if it wasn't a mistake, why don't you give all the money back to the 10 million people and not say 9 million if you did the right thing? What was you... I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The thing is, all the things they're saying right now sound great, and they will have some benefits. The only real question is, how do you pay for it? And the most I've heard is, well, it's within budget now, but in the future, it doesn't look like it may be. Not really filling me with confidence, so of course, you're naturally going to think, well, taxes are going to go up. And the way they do this, I noticed, the way they do this is they'll say things like, we're just finding that the rich aren't paying their fair share. We need to get them to pay more. And that actually ends up harming everybody. Because it's sort of like let's say we're all buying into something. And the person selling it to us says, well, I need 10 more percent to pay in. And it says 10 people, and 2 of y'all are paying about 60% of it. And then everybody goes to those 2 people and says, you need to pay 70% now. And then the people with the money say, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. What ends up happening? The other 8 people have to fit the rest of the bill. And it's kind of what happens when they raise taxes for the rich. Because what's really going on is a lot of the rich people provide the jobs that employ working class people, right? And when you make it so expensive for them to run a business in the UK, their accountants go, you're going to have to do business elsewhere. And it's no coincidence that there's so many foreign businesses that come into the UK to do business, because it's actually cheaper for them to be based in another location than to be based in the UK to do business. And what ends up happening, they'll raise taxes, the rich leave, and then everybody else is left to pay taxes. So actually, they inadvertently cause the working class and other people that are in the tax system to pay more taxes. And that's the problem with it. And that's how they raise taxes. They do it all the time. We're going to make the rich pay their fair share. When they say, what, about 10% of the UK pay 60% of the taxes, that means the people with the money. I mean, how much more, what's fair? How much more do you want them to pay? You know what I'm saying? So it's always the image that they're greedy, but now what really ends up happening is the people doing their money saying, well, we can't do business like this. It can potentially be unsustainable. You need to move elsewhere. That's what really happens. People that run business in the UK that are wealthy and are employing people initially don't want to leave. But if it becomes too expensive, they're going to go somewhere else to do business. It's just the way it is. And then we're just, again, as usual, we're all left fitting the bill. But you know what? What do I know? I'm just a mouth-breathing trucker. And on that note, y'all take care.